presentation. As you may know, Joe DiMaggio's World Series ring was stolen in 1960s. These treasures symbolize the accomplishments of a national hero. The New York Yankees are now proud to present Joe DiMaggio with a complete collection of his World Series rings. 1936, 1937, 1938, 1939, 1941, 1949, 1950, and 1951. The remaining two are gifts of the Yankees. Joining him was Phil Rizzuto. We love you, Joe DiMaggio. May your legacy continue.
Well, you had to see the faces on the New York Yankees as the years of world championships were rattled off by Bob Shepard. Sometimes you need to be reminded just how great greatness really was. Interesting that Joe DiMaggio didn't speak today on the day honoring him. But then again, Joe has always been an extremely private man. Yankees are out onto the field now as the game goes on, as it always will. They'll wrap up their 1998 season today against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and we'll wrap up our final edition of the New York City Marriott's Yankee Scorecard after this. The Devil Rays behind me. The Yankees have received these commemorative baseballs that'll be used on Joe DiMaggio Day. They've signed as many as they can, and what they're going to do is, in some way in the next few minutes, hand them out to fans here at Yankee Stadium to commemorate what they say on the ball is a September to remember. And who can argue as the Yankees wrap up the winningest season in the history of the American League. The rings of Joe DiMaggio, definitely the most special moment to have something that was so wrong so long ago made right finally. It just seems so perfect for the New York Yankees to have done that, and Joe DiMaggio seemed perfectly moved by it. I just spoke to Phil Rizzuto, and Scooter said he's going upstairs to the broadcast level and told me that he will appear with us, and after a long absence, it'll be good to hear his voice if only I can track him down. Well, that'll about do it. The Joe DiMaggio Day here. Phil Rizzuto made that special. The Yankees will take on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays now in a matter of moments. This is the final edition of the New York City Marriott's Yankee Scorecard. Coming up on MSG, it's the Yankees and Tampa Bay. Stay with us. MSG is the network for New York Yankees baseball, and it's the final regular season game in what has been the winningest American League season ever. The opposition is provided by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Brian Ricard will start it off, and Jim Bruschi will start for the New York Yankees, who look to end their regular season with a long winning streak. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Al Trawick. We should have some fun today in covering this last game because Joe Torre is going to want to give last looks to a lot of players. But it's going to be tough to top the emotional tenor set by David Cone after yesterday's game. With tears filling his eyes and a Yankee clubhouse filled with hugs, David Cone pitched extraordinarily well yesterday, as if to say, I'm ready for the postseason too. He dominated the Tampa Bay Devil Rays all game long, lasted through 7 innings, survived a nervous 9th inning, and when it was over, Mariano Rivera helped preserve a 3-1 win that, after a couple of missed chances, allowed David Cone, amidst much congratulations, to win his 20th game, to stay alive in the Cy Young voting. He scattered 4 hits, allowed no runs. It's a major league record for the longest stretch between 20-win seasons, 10 years. Well, we've got lots more to talk about in this last regular season game. To get things started, let's go upstairs to Jim Cott and Ken Singleton. Guys?
Thanks, Al. What a great end to a terrific season. Joe DiMaggio being honored before today's game. And you mentioned the emotion of yesterday's game. That won't happen today. I think the only thing at stake really is Bernie Williams winning the batting title. But let's kind of look ahead to next week when the Texas Rangers come into town, and the pitching matchups are all set already.
It should be very interesting. Tuesday night, things will get underway in postseason for the Yankees. The division series, David Wells against Todd Stoudemire, Andy Pettit against Rick Helling. Then you have David Cone against Aaron Seeley, and El Duque, Orlando Hernandez against John Burkett. The thing in common for all the Texas starters, they're all right-handed, and they all throw about the same. So the Yankee lineup will be seeing the same type of pitching on every single night.
Speaking of an emotional night, that's what it'll be Tuesday night for Yankee pitching coach Mel Stoudemire. His son Todd will pitch for the Rangers, and he'll be in the Yankee dugout. We'll have the finale of the 1998 record-breaking season when we come back on MSG after these words. Summer like 82 degrees at game time, and that's urging the Yankees on. They've done everything they could possibly do during the regular season. Good start for Bruschi as Randy Wynn is down on strikes. Let's check out the rest of Larry Rothschild's Tampa Bay lineup today, brought to you by Bob Stores. Great buys on brands you wear. Quentin McCracken, then Bobby Smith, and the veteran Fred McGriff. Bubba Trammell, the DH. Mike Kelly, Aaron Ledesma, Miguel Cairo, and Mike DeFelice round out the batting order. And here is the speedy McCracken. Eye for a ball. I guess if the Tampa Bay Devil Rays had to pick a best all-around player this year, this would be the guy.
Having a good year offensively. Broke the expansion record for the number of hits in the first season. Also among the league leaders in assists. Stolen a number of bases. And has played left in center field very well.
On the corner, 1-1. Hope you caught our New York City Marriott scorecard show, the last edition of the regular season. A lot of good elements in there. Won the emotional day yesterday for David Cone. I think, Kenny, you know from being a 300 hitter or a 295 hitter, there's a big difference. And yesterday when David got that 20th win, it points out to a pitcher there is a difference between 19 and 20. That 20 is a special number.
And there's a big difference between 299 and 300,
right,
as far as the batting average is concerned.
And a wonderful gesture on the, that's fouled out of play. Look out on the part of the Yankee players. Joe Girardi presenting David Cone with the game ball. And I think we even experienced Paul O'Neill trying to stretch a double to a single. Joe Girardi mentioned this. The players yesterday wanted so badly to get that win, to do a little bit extra to get the win for David Cone, that in some cases they may have been a little too aggressive. Grounded out toward second base. Tough play for Knobloch, but he makes it. Nice bare-hand pick by the Yankee second baseman. 2 quick outs here in the first.
Well, you saw a good play by the Yankee second baseman Chuck Knobloch to erase Quentin McCracken. Let's check out the rest of the Yankees defensively. Brosius, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez in the infield. Spencer, Williams, and O'Neill in the outfield. Posada doing the catching. The highlighted players are 3 new ones that came this year and really did the job well. Shane Spencer, primarily the hitting, but Scott Brosius, good all-around season. And Chuck Knobloch maybe could improve a little bit offensively, but his defense improved as the season went along.
Bobby Smith steps in, takes a strike, and what Knobloch brought to the team this year is ability to get on base. Getting hit by pitches, drawing walks. He and Jeter neck and neck with Alex Rodriguez and Ken Griffey Jr. in scoring runs. Bobby Smith will be glad when this season's over and finishing it against the Yankees. Wait till next year. He is 0 for 21 in his career against the Yankees. And he's in an 0-2 count right here. Jeff Nelson should get some work today. Maybe Graham Lloyd and Mike Stanton. Hideki Irabu will definitely pitch. And Joe Torre's team has won 6 in a row leading into the postseason. That's fouled at the plate. I don't think he could feel any better about this team than he has at any time during the season. Irabu waiting in the unusual position for him out in the bullpen.
Well, that's what he'll be doing in the postseason, at least in the first round.
I'm sure most of you are aware the Texas Rangers will be in here Tuesday. It'll be David Wells and Todd Stottlemyre. You think of Joe Girardi as the regular catcher, but Posada has caught Wells most of the time. Wonder if he'll be the catcher in Tuesday night's game. Got him, strike 3. Pair of strikeouts in the Devil Rays down in order. Yankees coming to bat when we come back on MSG. Phil Rizzuto walked out and presented Joe DiMaggio on behalf of the Yankees with the 10 World Series rings that he had stolen from him back in the 60s. Chuck Knobloch takes a strike from Brian Ricard. Not a good year for the Tampa Bay right-hander. Pitched a few years with the Colorado Rockies before coming over here. Popped up near the Yankee dugout. DeFelice, the catcher, appears to have room, and he puts it away, 1 down. Key today for the Yankee hitters, other than Bernie Williams, Kenny, just get a few good swings, and it's almost like taking batting practice at game time.
Well, they didn't take batting practice before the game.
There's the rest of the lineup. Jeter O'Neill and Bernie Williams. And Tino Martinez, Darryl Strawberry, the DH today. New fan favorite Shane Spencer, followed by Posada and Brocious.
Well, I just saw a shot of the scooter up here at the press level. And Derek Jeter got his 200th hit the other day. And those are the only 2 Yankee shortstops in history with 200 or more hits in a season.
And Derek has improved, as we mentioned the other night, in every category. Fly ball to right. Mike Kelly is there. Puts it away, 2 down. Derek, his batting average is higher, home run output, stolen bases, better in the field.
I just saw Mike Kelly make a catch in right field for out number 2, and the rest of the players on defense for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays: Smith, Ledesma, Cairo, McGriff in the infield, McCracken, Wynn, Kelly in the outfield, DeFelice behind the plate, Ricard on the mound. Middle infielders of Ledesma and Cairo. We mentioned that all during the year that the Devil Rays have a good defensive ball club. Don't make many errors, have good speed and good arms in the outfield, and that infield combination of Ledesma and Cairo can be good for years to come.
First pitch swinging, and you'll see a lot of that today. The O'Neill fans with the banners. We haven't seen them for a while. They're back in the right field stands here on the last day of the season. That's low, 1-1.
You mentioned Ricard pitching for the Colorado Rockies at one time, and I would suspect that any pitcher who has pitched even a little bit at Coors Field can appreciate being back at sea level.
Yeah, and pitching here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees, known again as the Bronx Bombers, have actually homered more on the road than they have at the stadium, which points out this is not particularly a hitter's ballpark unless you're a left-hand pull hitter. The Yankees have hit 110 home runs on the road and 96 at home. Well, let's see. There's got to be something to that. We're looking for the K. That's low, 2-2 to Paul O'Neill.
Scouting report on Brian Ricard: sinking fastball, former Rocky, and subtract 10%. And what that means is ball goes further 10% up in Coors Field, so subtract 10% here.
You get him to fly out to the warning track.
Instead of going over the wall.
That ball was hit sharply by O'Neill, but right at Fred McGriff. Yankees go in order. We've played one here, the last day of the regular season, back on MSG with the second inning after this. Giving the fans some souvenirs. Great bonding between players and fans as the veteran crime dog Fred McGriff steps in. He'd like to get one more home run, make it 12 years in a row that he hit the 20 level. Inside for a ball.
One thing you'll see today is a lot of first pitch swinging. That first pitch fastball that's in there, as we look at the scouting report on Jim Brewski, high-riding fastball, fly ball pitcher, baseball, and a Brewski. What a combo.
A lot of fans out here enjoying that. 2-0 to McGriff. That is not a television camera. That's a film camera.
They will be making a baseball movie here in November at Yankee Stadium.
Pass Knobloch into right center field, in for a single. McGriff to lead off the Tampa Bay second. Let's check the wild card update. Only race left to be decided is that one. The Braves are up on the Mets 5-0, so it does not look good for the Mets. Cubs and Astros will go at it in about another half hour, and then at 3:05, so that the Giants will sort of know what they have to do. The other games will probably be completed. And, of course, the only way the Mets can get in there if they come back and win and Cubs and Giants lose. That's in for a strike to Bubba Trammell.
Say, what a time to lose 4 in a row, and certainly the offense just went south.
Boy, when you're involved in pennant races like that, it's like Tony Saunders left early. He left the ball club. But when you're involved in close races like this that are decided by one game, and there have been playoffs in close races, there has never in the history of baseball been a three-way playoff. Boy, in the wintertime, you sit back and think about, if you're a pitcher, 1 or 2 pitches, or a hitter or a fielder, there's always a play there that you think could have been made, 1 and 2 now to Trammell, that may have affected the outcome of the pennant race. I don't know if they're honoring Tony Saunders. They got his uniform hung over the water cooler. Like he left the club early, so he's here in spirit, I guess. That's popped up. Knobloch in short right center. Makes the call and the catch. First out in the second inning for the Devil Rays. Well, it has been a terrific season, we all know, for the Yankees. With 113 wins, sometimes you lose sight of one of the ones that might be rather important early in the year or kind of stand out. So as we go through our game today, we will treat you to some flashbacks of what we think were pretty memorable games in the Yankees' record-breaking season. Here's Mike Kelly. Way inside for a ball.
I think coming out of spring training, we got to spring training as the club was about halfway through it. And looking at the team, I remember coming home after we did our spring training games and telling my dad, this team's really good. I mean, they look like they're going to have a real good year, but I didn't think nobody could think that they would win 113, maybe 114 games.
Now, even when you're real good, that doesn't always happen in first strike. I mean, obviously they couldn't have planned on what Orlando Hernandez did, or David Cone coming back as quickly, or Hideki Irabu. And Joe Torre knew, leaving spring training, we kidded about this team could go 162-0. We knew they were very good in all phases of the game. 2-1, but they're talking with the Yankee scouting staff, and as you might imagine, they all gathered today, led by Gene Michael, the Stick, who is the director of Major League Scouting, and you got Greg Nettles and Greg Pavlik and Ronnie Hansen, Wade Taylor, Ronnie Brand, who we've seen from time to time, and Wade Taylor. These guys have all been scouting various Major League teams. 3-1 now to Kelly, particularly Boston, Cleveland, and Texas, and standing around with General Manager Brian Cashman and saying, well, what do the Yankees have to do to win? And when you look at the talent they have, I think if they avoid making costly errors and little things like costly base running mistakes, there's no team that is as good as they are. Somebody's going to have to really come up with some outstanding pitching to beat them. Now the count is full to Kelly. And that can happen in a short series with a Pedro Martinez or even Mel Stottlemyre's son, Todd. If he happens to deal a hot hand for a couple games in a 5-game series, that's kind of the role of the dice in postseason play.
So normally you're going to have to cut down your mistakes because you're playing better ball clubs. You can make some mistakes against certain teams, say this Devil Ray team, and you can still come back and win later on. They might even hand it to you.
McGriff on the run, fouled at the plate. Yeah, everything is magnified, as Al Trautwig mentioned on the post-game coverage that MSG will have. See Posada just duck out of the way of the backswing of Kelly.
Kelly does have a long swing. It looks like Hideki's
it's pretty relaxed.
Yep. Chilling.
That's fouled at the plate. As you looked at Hideki Irabu in the bullpen, one spot yet to be determined, and the Yankees will have till midnight tomorrow night. And it appears it'll come down to Graham Lloyd or Darren Holmes. Lloyd has certainly pitched much better lately, but I would expect we might see him in the game today to face Fred McGriff, and we might see Holmes in to face a man or two. Yeah, it is late September, but it is like summer here at the stadium, 82 degrees. McGriff on the run again, and the pitch is fouled out of play. Joe DiMaggio had been a part of a World Championship team, a World Series team. I mean, wow. I'm sure some of the players down there kind of lost sight of that. 10 years. And not that Joe D's career needs any more amplification or defending, but one of the little subtleties to look at is the number of times he struck out in his career. His strikeout total is less than, I'd say, what some home run hitters today do in a year and a half or 2 years. That's in for a strike.
He had more Major League home runs than Major League strikeouts.
Yeah. And yet was considered a power hitter, and that just doesn't happen. So that was a great day to be a part of the Yankees honoring Joe D. Now the fans treating this game like it means something. Bases loaded and 2 out. They'd like to see Jim Brewski strike out DeFelice. Taps it toward Tino Martinez. He'll make the flip to Brewski. And the veteran right-hander works out of the bases loaded jam, despite McGriff's leadoff single. No score at the stadium. Back on MSG after this. You can purchase authentic hats, jackets, and T-shirts right on the web. You visit the official Yankee website at www.yankees.com to purchase Yankee items, from keychains, authentic on-field caps. It's all available on the web. Credit cards accepted. Transactions are secured. Visit Yankees.com and be a part of Yankee history. Visit the online catalog. And what becomes an important at-bat for Bernie Williams. Word out of Boston. Mo Vaughn has homered. He is now 1 for 2. They started the day at .336, though Bernie was just percentage points ahead. That's in for a strike. Yankees have had 8 batting champions, and ironically, Joe D in the stadium today is the only one that won it twice, back-to-back, 1939 and 1940. That's low for a ball, 1-1. And the last Yankee batting champion is a cornerstone of this ball club right now, and that's Paul O'Neill. Hit .359 back in the strike-shortened year of 1994. That's grounded foul, 1-2 to Bernie Williams.
I think this first at-bat is the key one for Bernie, either a walk or the base hit, to set him off in the right direction for a good day instead of having to fight an uphill battle.
2-2. Here is the current updated averages. Mo Vaughn with that 1 for 2 is at .336.07. And so it is important if Bernie Williams is to win the batting title. Get a couple hits his first 2 at-bats. Got one there. Fielded by Kelly in the corner. Bernie Williams will have a long single to take over the American League batting lead once again.
What's interesting about this at-bat, this was the only pitch that was up. Everything else had been down. Ricard finally throws the pitch up, about belt tie, and Bernie just, boom, single to right field. So he is in a mode and hitting all season long. When he gets his mistakes, he hits it hard.
A good start for Bernie Williams, and Tino Martinez steps in. You see the season numbers, 28 home runs. Once again, more than 120 RBIs this year. And Tino got off to a great start back on opening day. I wonder how many fans remember the wild opening day the Yankees had here at the stadium back on April 10th against the Oakland Athletics.
Joe DiMaggio was here opening day and threw out the first pitch, and Tino Martinez in a wild ball game. It was a 17-13 Yankee win. There was only one home run in the game, but it was hit by Tino.
Toward third, scooped up nicely by Smith. They'll get one, and no chance to get 2. Mike Buddy, who has been in the right spot for a lot of games, actually picked up the win in that ball game.
Well, Bobby Smith comes up with the ball. He's going to have to wait a while for Cairo to get to second base. And Cairo makes a nice play coming up with the high throw, but they couldn't turn 2. Cairo was playing a little bit more towards first base with Tino at the plate, and they couldn't go around the horn for the double play.
Nice ovation for Darryl Strawberry, the designated hitter in today's game. Don't be surprised if you see him in left field on Tuesday night against the Rangers. That's inside for a ball. Darryl reached base safely in an appearance the other night, and also stole second base, just showing Joe Torre that he's ready to play. Two 2-0. Back to that opening day game. The 30 runs, that's the most ever in a Yankee home opener. And as Kenny mentioned, Tino went 3 for 4, 5 RBIs, and Mike Buddy, ironically, was the pitcher of record when the Yankees set the all-time American League record on Friday. Swings through that one 2-1. He was the winning pitcher on opening day.
Yeah, that was a wide open ball game. You mentioned 30 runs, 32 hits, 20 men left on base by both clubs.
Three and 1 now to Strawberry. Umpire lineup in this final day of the regular season, brought to you by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation, the most timely, cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes, has Tim Cheetah, the veteran, behind the plate, Brian O'Nora, Rick Reed at the corners, and John Shulock at second base. Have not seen the umpiring assignments for postseason play listed yet. I don't know if anybody from this crew is there or not. That's ripped out in the gap in right center. Martinez will make it to third easily, and as Kelly bobbles the ball, or rather Randy Wynn bobbles the ball, Strawberry advances to second base. He is credited with a double.
Well, let's watch Darryl Strawberry after making contact, and this ball driven towards the gap in right center field, kind of reached out over the plate and did it. Remember, early in the season, Darryl had problems with that knee, was limping. He looks fine as he heads into second, and he's going to be credited with a 2-base hit.
And the welcome for Shane Spencer, who yesterday set a Yankee record most home runs in a month by any Yankee rookie. 7. He's tied Yogi Berra, 2 grand slams in his rookie year. Inside corner, strike one. 6 of his last 12 hits have been home runs, and here's one of them.
Yeah, it was a changeup that was down and out over the plate from Terrell Wade. This was in the 3rd inning, yesterday's ball game, leading off the inning. And it was the first run of the ball game on the Yankees Spencer for a high.
Good fastball there. That's one of the first pitches I've seen Shane sort of pull away from, like he actually was trying to hit a home run. Well, maybe in a few years he'll have that. Boy, the banners, I don't know any rookie player that's come up with a ball club that has had more signs and banners for him than Shane Spencer. In the air to center. Not hit too deeply, and McCracken comes on and makes the grab. Tino Martinez and Strawberry will have to hold their ground.
There's an example of the Devil-Ray defensive ability, particularly in the outfield. McCracken came from a long way. He was playing deep with Spencer up. And he and Wynn and Kelly, the outfield, could go get him. And this is after the pitch is inside. Really affected by a breaking ball away. See how he has to reach out and kind of not get the good swing on it. And McCracken with the long run, former Duke defensive back. They could have used him just yesterday.
Jorge Posada catches today, may catch Tuesday night. See the numbers he's put up this year, 17 home runs. Gets away from DeFelice, but he keeps it in front of him. Here's the New York Marriott Marquis pitching matchup in their careers. Jim Bruschi out of the bullpen has been very successful. In his brief time in the major leagues, Brian Ricard not has fared quite as well. Earned run average over 6. There's the Mike Stanley lookalike. Looks like he'll work at least another inning. That's inside to Posada on the corner for a strike, 1-1.
Brian Ricard had some chances to work out in the Rockies organization and was chosen in the expansion draft. They left him exposed.
Good swing there, fouled straight back. Speaking of young pitchers,
he's sweating.
Honor of Toby Saunders, the left-hander of the Devil Rays, up in Detroit. Right-hand pitching prospect Roy Halladay has a no-hitter through 6 innings. So the Blue Jays have made that nice late-season surge on the strength of Roger Clemens' right arm, and Calvin Escobar have another good young pitching prospect. They could be a factor in 1999. 2-2 to Posada.
I think, as you've mentioned many times this year, it all starts with the pitching. And when you have another number one like Roger Clemens and Escobar with a strong arm, pitchers like Woody Williams, Chris Carpenter,
Makings of a good staff.
Yep.
Clemens did not get a decision. He pitched 8 innings last night, didn't get a decision. I think David Cohn's 20th win will move him into a good, solid second position in the Cy Young. I think Clemens is still going to win it, but I think that 20th win was a big mark for David Cohn. Posada is going to be tossed out by the Tampa Bay pitcher Brian Ricard, so each team has left a few men on here. The first 2 innings were still scoreless as we head to the top of the 3rd. Bigger and stronger, and there are so many things that have to go right for a team to reach the victory total the Yankees did.
There might be somebody out there listening to us now. It might be the one who's going to break that home run.
Yeah.
And it might be him.
Came to the ballpark in the front row and got his batting helmet on. That's a good idea. Because just while you're eating that ice cream, if you take your eye off the ball, those line drives can get there in a hurry. Randy Wynn bluffs a bunt. Shows a bunt, and it's strike 1, says Tim Cheetah.
Devil Rays have 2 guys at the top of the order in Wynn and McCracken. McCracken with 19 steals, Wynn with 26. Both good speed, play their position well. Switch hitter.
Outcome of a ball game we'll be able to dissect on Tuesday night as David Wells will go to the mound for the Yankees.
A man named Q. or nickname Q.
Rick White loosening in the Tampa Bay bullpen. That's in for a strike. And it's quickly 0-2 to McCracken. Yeah, it's a relaxing kind of day for the Devil Rays. They're not going to lose 100 games. They lose today, they would be 63-99, which is always nice for an expansion team to avoid that triple-digit losses. Hit well to center field. Bernie Williams is right there. 2 down. Tribute to the Yankees with some of their banners and signs. The players threw autographed balls into the stands. Token of their appreciation. They got to see Joe DiMaggio honored before the game. Even the scooter was here. Inside to Smith for a ball.
You get the sense that the fans are saving up their energy for Tuesday.
And you'll hear play. The booth that we're in right now will actually be rocking a little bit. You'll feel it quiver a little bit on Tuesday night. That's how loud the noise level gets. 1-1 to Smith. Bobby Smith would at least like to maybe get an infield hit or something. He's 0 for 22 in his career against the Yankees. His first year as the Tampa Bay third baseman. Hit well, but O'Neill's going to have room. Bruschi will have a nice 1-2-3 inning. He has pitched 3 scoreless innings here on this last day of the 1998 regular season. Yankees coming to bat when we come back on MSG.
While Mariano Rivera was on the DL, really stepped up big time.
Nice creative sign there, congratulating the Yankees in their breathtaking year. Yeah, in that shot, note the pick of Tino Martinez on the end of that double play. Another example of the Yankees playing well in the field. That game was started by Hideki Irabu, who pitched 5 effective innings. Scott Brosius averages over 300. He's 2 RBIs away from the 100 mark, something he's never reached before. Irabu still sitting quietly, not started his warm-up pitches yet. I don't know what inning he'll come in. This is skied to right. Kelly's there with plenty of room, and there's one down in the Yankee third. Now, those games early in the year, every championship team of players on, there are 4 or 5 games that stand out in your mind, and you say just about when things were looking kind of bleak, as they were for the Yankees on that West Coast trip, then something like that Stanton double play ball picks you up, gets you going in the right direction.
As I mentioned, they had lost the opening game of the series. That gave them 2 out of 3, and they were in the midst of a 8-game winning streak, and that continued when they came back home from that trip.
Here's Chuck Knobloch. That's low for a ball. The Yankees have set an all-time record this year, being hit by pitches, 57. Previous record was 53, and one of the big reasons is this guy.
I'm glad to see that Knobloch, who was hitting the elbow, is starting to continue to wear that guard. The last time he was hit, that must have hurt, because it was right on the point of the elbow, or just above it. And maybe he'll continue to wear that, who knows, maybe for the remainder of his career.
He's been hit 18 times this year. Of course, the team record I mentioned, 57, was the all-time team record.
And you'll notice when he sets up at home plate how that lead elbow is almost directly over the inside corner. So he keeps those arms away from his body in the particular way that he hits. And that makes him more vulnerable to pitches kind of moving in on him. Like that.
In for a strike. Well, it all goes back to, we've talked about the strike zone of the 90s, which is a little lower and a little wider, and hitters have to kind of dive or stride toward the outside part of the plate to get those pitches. As a result, anything inside, they're getting hit a lot more. Full count. You really see it when Derek Jeter comes to the plate. He's up next. Instead of striding straight toward the pitcher, Derek's, and sometimes he says he gets a little too much stepping toward the plate. He actually steps toward the plate instead of toward the pitcher, because he wants to be able to get the barrel of the bat on that outside pitch. out of play. Count still full to Knobloch.
We mentioned about Knobloch and what he brought to the Yankee club. I think they gave the Yankees a chance to double up at the top of the lineup with Knobloch and Jeter. Last year, it was just Jeter, basically, who was the everyday player that batted first or second. But now with Knobloch in there, and both of them capable of, when they get on base, they have a knack for scoring. And as you mentioned, they might be leading the league as a tandem in scoring runs.
Draws a walk right there. Well, we have a public service announcement from our colleague Al Troutwig, who has made an appeal to the Scooter. Scooter, Yankee fans want to hear from you. Please come into MSG's booth. Love, Al Troutwig. Al had a chance to speak with Scooter down at field level, as Scooter was part of the Joe DiMaggio festivities, a tribute to Joe D. And he casually said, yeah, he might be available to come into the booth. So, Scooter, if you're watching or listening somewhere, Al Troutwig, who will be along in the fourth inning, would love to have you join him. Knobloch back in time. I don't know that we'll see any reckless abandon type base running today by the Yankees. They'll treat this as a tune-up game, and you can't play this game safety first, but you're not going to take a lot of unnecessary chances and possibly cause an injury.
So you're looking for a station-to-station game. Yeah. When you have a chance to take the extra base, you go ahead.
Low for a ball to Jeter.
And you just saw the motion of Jeter's left foot as he moved right towards the plate. So he stands off the plate a little bit more than Knobloch. So to get to the outside corner with a good part of the bat, he's going to have to go almost directly towards the plate.
That's why even sometimes pitches that are just barely off the corner end up hitting right-hand hitters. Hit and run, fouled straight back.
That looked like Knobloch was looking to steal the bag and not to hit and run. And the reason why, because when he got to second, he didn't know what happened to the ball. Jeter fouled it back. Now remember, Knobloch and Jeter are both tied with 30 steals apiece. So maybe Knobloch knows this and wants to, 31, just went ahead of 30. He would lead the team. There's the front foot going directly towards the plate. There's a pitch foul. He had a good swing, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a straight steal. But Derek saw a pitch up in his eyes. He thought he could drive and fouled it straight back. Towards second base and into right field. Off the glove of Cairo. Knobloch will hold at second, and the Yankees have runners at first and second with one out.
When you're a hitter, this is something you love to see. You hit the ball hard. You see that infielder dive for it. And watch Jeter's front foot again as he strides into the ball. Hits a scorcher towards second. You love to see that. Oh, just off the end of the glove and on into the outfield for the base hit. If you get out there near second base and you're talking to the opposition, you might say, good thing you didn't catch that. That had dragged you out there, too.
Still tied with Alex Rodriguez and Ken Griffey Jr. as a pair. Jeter and Knobloch at 242 runs, and an opportunity for one or both to score right here as O'Neill steps in. On the corner, strike one. Well, we voted him our player of the year, and this is one of the reasons why. 4 hits against the Chicago White Sox that night, May 24th, including that home run, which was a game winner. In the hole, looks like Knobloch may get a chance to score. He's being waved to him. McCracken's got a good arm, and DeFelice bobbles the ball. Knobloch will score, and the Yankees lead it 1-0.
Chuck Knobloch doing what he does best, scoring runs, and that will be the 117th of the year. And Paul O'Neill doing what he does best, driving in runs. Solid single into left field for the base hit for O'Neill. That will be his 116th run batted in. McCracken, we mentioned the good arm. DeFelice can't handle the throw. Got a little bit of, the hop was a little bit too close to him. He couldn't come up with it. and Knobloch was able to score.
1-0 Yankees. Runners at the corners with one out, and Bernie Williams, if you joined us late, singled in his first at bat. Mo Vaughn, last report, is 1 for 2. So Bernie again is just percentage points ahead of Mo Vaughn in the batting race. Good breaking ball in for a strike. Bernie's average now at .337. He's a lifetime .292 hitter, so this year will continue to move that average up, as this will be the 4th consecutive year that his average has been over 300. 1-1. There's the updated averages. Mo Vaughn just a few tenths of a point, hundredths of a point short of .337. Bernie just over it. That's way outside, 2-1. Speaking of records, Joe Torre, now in his 3 seasons as a manager of the Yankees, has 301 wins. The Yankees have averaged over 100 wins. You have to go back to the days of the major, Ralph Houck, in the early 60s. Between 1961 and 1963, Ralph Houck's teams won 309 games. So Joe Torre right in that same class. In the air and hit well. Wynn back on the warning track, pulls it in, and Jeter will score. Of course, no time at bat. Sacrifice fly for Bernie Williams, so he keeps his average right there at .337, and it's 2-0 Yankees.
Well, Bernie Williams can credit Jeter's base running ability because of the fact that when the throw came home, Jeter went from second to third and was standing there, although this is well into the warning track in center field. Without Jeter at third base, it would have been a time at bat. So Derek Jeter helped set up an RBI for Bernie Williams, no time at bat, and that's going to be it for Rick White.
Yeah, the Yankee players were kind of looking at Larry Rothschild like, what's going on here? This is the last day of the season. Tito said, you're going to bring a lefty in to face me, but maybe Larry Rothschild has some decisions he'd like to make also. So we'll be back on MSG with the Yankees leading 2-0 after this. Who cares about the last day of the season? We got more important things to do. We got Scooter in the booth. That doesn't happen very often.
I can't believe this is you, Huckleberry. Look at this. He's 6'4", you're about 6'5", and then here I am.
Yeah, we never won an MVP.
Yeah, never mind that. I wouldn't be able to see the game from here. But this is bringing back memories here. But
well, it's great to have you here. We're glad you caught Al Troutwigs enough, and you said you've caught a lot of the Yankee games.
Oh, almost all of them. The only time I didn't catch them is when Cora and I went to Paris and Italy to celebrate our 55th wedding anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
And it's tough to follow you guys because you get the paper a day late, USA Today. You know?
We're not beamed in over there yet. Probably work on that next year.
No, but I tell you, I've enjoyed you guys, Singleton and Cott. Too knowledgeable. Well, you've always been, because I work with you, and I know.
Well, you taught me.
I know. I didn't have to do any work. You did all of it. And Kenny does the same thing. And I tell you, you guys have been great. And like I said, you made my summer bringing the games, and it was always something exciting. Another record broken.
Oh, I didn't miss something.
And this club, and I finally met all the players on it. I didn't know their names, but I met all of them. They came by to say hello with me and demand. And it's like a big jigsaw puzzle where every piece fits perfect. I never saw a team like that before.
It has been unbelievable. I was telling Kenny, I think the years are going to have to go by to look back. Tino strikes out the end of the inning. Scooter will stick around and stay right here and visit with Al Troutwig. I think a few years will have to go by before we really appreciate what a great year this was. Yankees lead at 2-0. Back after this on MSG.
Well, you don't mind if when I tell stories, they take a long time.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But we got to win this game.
We're up to
How many hits has Bernie got so far?
He's got one. He's 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. Mo Vaughn is 1 for 2. Spencer moves to right field from left field.
That kid is unbelievable.
He's got the power.
So go ahead. You were in high school.
Oh, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my high school coach tried to become a professional ball player. He was my size, and he told me, you know, you can't hit home runs. He's the one who taught me how to bunt, thank goodness. And then he said, don't ever get thrown out of a game. He says, what do you say when, you know, when you get excited? Or I say, holy cow. He said, well, use that all the time. So I've used it, and I've used it, and I really, and if I were broadcasting this year, I'd have set a record for holy cow.
You would have had a million of them.
Oh, you guys have been, I mean, you've been great. I said Cott and Singleton were great. And, well, Troutwig is not too shabby. He's,
I have Huckleberry
oh,
tendencies.
wait a minute. I have not quite a bone to pick with you.
Oh, go ahead.
The day that you and Kenny were on the air, and you were comparing my first 4 years with Jeter's first 4.
Numerically.
Very unfair. Don't give me that garbage. Very Without Singleton, you were all right, but this guy, I'll never. Oh,
That's Fred McGriff heading for second. He's going to have a double.
oh! I hope he's not hurt. He hit that wall hard.
That's Chad Curtis out there.
He looks like he's all right.
See, nowadays they pad the walls. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
my! Oh, poor Pete Reeser and.
Who was out there in left field most of the time playing these horrible sun conditions in the fall out at Yankee Stadium?
Well, Charlie Keller, my first
Yeah.
few years, and after that, Johnny Lindell. And
They're playing left field here at this time of year at Yankee Stadium.
You remember Norm Seaburn was very embarrassed. Casey took him out of the game. Whitey Ford was pitching in the World Series, and he lost the ball in the sun. And he took him right out there. I mean, it was very... Anyway.
Here's a guy who had a problem playing left field yesterday, Bubba Trammell. Meanwhile,
No,
okay,
listen,
okay,
when
so
I
we
worked
compared
with
your
White,
number.
he remembered what I said. Because I forget what I
I got it. You were going to pick a bone with us about comparing
Oh,
your 4
yeah.
years to Derek Jeter's 4 years.
Wait a minute. God.
He can play third base.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't pick it up barehanded. He picks everything barehanded.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, wait, one more time. Where was I? 'Cause I
The
gotta-
4 years of you and the 4
Oh,
years
yeah,
of Jeter.
yeah. See, Singleton wasn't too bad, but this Huckleberry over here, he said, look, we just want to compare them. Now, the reason I say I had a bone to pick because my first 2 years were comparable to Jeter's. My
Right.
first 2 years, not the first one. Then I went into service for 3 years. And it took me 3 years before I could hit a curveball again. I was in...
Well, then that was bad of me.
It was, and then he, you know what his other line was? You remember what he said when he was comparing? He says, and he's in the Hall of Fame. As the that was a low blow. I might leave right now.
Oh, Phil, I'm sorry. Please come back.
No, I was only kidding, but of course, listen, Jeter to me
Now, here's
is
the
worth the price of admission. I mean, I never saw a shortstop that could move so gracefully and make that play and turn in a circle. I asked him on the bench today, how can you find first base? He turned on a play with fast runner yesterday, and he caught it, turned around, and made a perfect.
360, yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's got such a strong arm, too.
Oh.
But I said, and you're in the Hall of Fame because you set the standard for this
You know,
franchise.
I accept your apology, but that's not it.
But it's true. I said that as a compliment.
No, you didn't.
Of course I did.
In other words, you said you'll be in the Hall of Fame. You got much better records than the Scooter.
No.
But that's all right.
Let's go back to 1950. You got your 200 hits, your
Yes.
MVP. Jeter the other day got his 200
Oh,
hit.
yes.
Do you remember the circumstances
Oh,
in which you got
absolutely.
your 200 hit?
We're playing the Boston Red Sox on the last day of the season.
Okay.
And I guess Casey knew it because I got up, got a base hit, hit a line drive to center field. It wasn't a bunt. I get on first base, all of a sudden I see somebody come running out. And I said, what are you doing? He said, well, Casey says you got your 200th hit and he wants to take you out of the game. I got out of the game, got in the car, got home early. I was leading off first time at bat. But I didn't even know I had 200 hits.
Hey, Phil, I spoke to Joe DiMaggio for a moment after he came off the field, and he said the best thing about those rings, oh, that's knocked down, now blocked.
Oh,
Makes the play. That was worth a holy
Look at
cow.
the way he ended up at third base almost, Knobloch.
Tampa Bay gets a run out of it, so it's 2-1. But he said he was so thrilled that his great-grandchildren are going to be able to look at them and see his success. He seemed like he was in a good mood.
Oh, he was in a great mood today. I've been up there with Steinbrenner and Joe. We've been talking up there, and there's a little something that upset George up there. That he ordered steak sandwiches for all of us.
Right.
And they came up, they're a little tough to cut. Sent them all back at the head of the whoever has the steak.
The cooking?
And he said, you can't do better than that, you're gone.
So they had to tenderize the beef then.
No, whatever they did, oh, no.
Now Bernie's got it, no problem. Can you stay one more half inning? Or you got to go?
All right, I got. All right, all right. Who's that on the phone? Leon?
That's Leon talking to you.
Another Huckleberry.
We agreed, by the way.
Oh, was that on the air? Oh, nice going, Leon.
And here's a guy who could put one out in the right field seats, Darryl Strawberry. So, Phil, you probably heard that soundbite about 1,000 times this time.
I know it. Gee, people kept telling me about it. It was like I had never left the booth.
You got a lot of residuals, probably, right?
No. Oh, it was great, though. I mean, everything's great about this game. You know, Yogi and I sometimes sit down and say, what would we have done or what would we have become had it not been for baseball? Because neither one of us were 4A students.
We have a pitching change. We're just going to hang right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leon can do things like that.
But this is great. No kidding. It's been. You know.
By the way, George Steinbrenner came by during the last commercial break to thank you for bringing up the beef controversy.
No, he did not.
He was right up there. He did.
You called him in anyway. I know you're an agitator from way back. It took me a long time to get used to his style of broadcasting. Kind of.
You mean the opposite? He takes the opposite side.
Yeah. He likes to be the devil's advocate. But you know, DiMaggio up there is a piece of work, I'm telling you. He is unbelievable. With no sleep last night, 2 hours sleep, flew in from Chicago here. Aching, he's got arthritis, and he will not take any pain pills. He's got a high threshold of pain. Everybody's on, the doctors, they can't believe it.
Phil, of all the things that you remember of what he could do that set him apart, what were some of the most unique things?
Well, he never made an error that I can ever remember. I mean, he did everything so fluidly, like a line drive would be hit and I'd turn around and he'd be on the move already. Like when Mantle came in or other outfielders he had that sixth sense that made him make this play. Never had a dive, never lost his cap, and he had the worst glove you ever saw in your life. I don't know how he ever caught. It was terrible. He had to close it line very small too, but he was in the clutch when he had that 56-game hitting streak my rookie year. Nothing bothered him. Even the night he got stopped, Kenny Keltner made 2 great plays, and Boudreau made 1. And
when Bernie Williams runs, he runs with a certain grace to it. That's how Joe used to run, right?
Similar, except that Joe took longer strides. I mean, it's beautiful watching
Bernie. Yeah, run out of
See, I don't know first names. As you know, I used to call everybody by their last name. So Williams got a nice thing, but DiMaggio had these long strides, and like Mantle, I mean, those two, it was a pleasure watching a triple.
Would you do me a favor? I have good feelings about Shane Spencer's at bat here, and I would love it if you would do the play-by-play of this new kid from El Cajon, California, who's got 9 home runs.
Well, I tell you, I've seen him hit every one of them, too.
All right, go ahead.
It's unbelievable.
Esteban Yan is the pitcher. Shane
no,
Spencer's
that
at the
name
plate.
I cannot pronounce.
Go ahead.
All right. Yan is on. Swing. You know what I noticed today? He's swinging harder today. I think he wants to hit another home run. Before, when he hit that grand slam home run to right side, he just reached out and hit it. But he is going to be powerful. I mean, wherever he's gone, he's hit a ton of home runs. He is really swinging a little too hard.
You know, yesterday he told me he came up with the bases loaded, and he said, you know, I had to admit to Chris Chambliss I was pressing too hard. I swung at bad pitches, hitting myself in the head.
First time up, he did the same thing. Remember, he had a breaking pitch outside. He tried to pull, and he wasn't doing that. But he's been a big fan now, a darling of the Yankee fans. And I think he's going to be around for a long, long time. Low and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And pretty soon I'm going to be leaving this seat and beating the crowd. But I have had a ball. I'm glad you guys got me.
You don't know how great it is to hear your voice.
No, I got a terrible voice. I will never listen to any commercials I do or... And bounce foul outside of third.
Yeah, Scooter, this kind of takes me back to my teenage years. Listen to this. Sitting in my
You're a
living room
teenager?
up in
You had
Mount
to say
Vernon.
that, right?
Yeah,
Teenager.
It's a long time ago.
I just had my 81st birthday.
Oh.
And slowly but surely, I'm catching up to DiMaggio. I don't know how it's happening. Out on the West Coast with a 3 hours difference in time. All right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, he struck him out. You made me do it. Now I feel like a jinx with the kid. I'm getting on.
Sluggers do that.
No, sluggers.
Here's a look at the replay, and it's a high fastball. He chased one out of the zone.
Yeah, he did, and he hadn't done that before. Everything he's swinging, that was a strike.
Did you watch the highlight shows every night? Did you keep up with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa?
I enjoyed them. But boy, you love the gab. You're on. I mean, I can turn. You know, the game's over. I turn it off, go upstairs in the bedroom and watch it. You're still going. I go down and get a piece of pie or something. Come upstairs. You're still going. But I want to. I really enjoy you. You know what you're great at too, besides doing games, is these pregame shows. And I remember so many of them you did. The one out in Minneapolis where you said about the wind, the air conditioning, and you went all the way around. And,
That's going back a while.
Oh,
Well, it's very nice of you to say, but I consider you calling me a huckleberry one of the highlights of my career.
You know that Strawberry on first?
Yes.
Yeah.
He helped win that ball game the other day when he hustled and broke up. He hit a ground ball and they didn't get the double play. He went down the line, and right after that, I think they scored. Or that might have been the same inning when he hit the home run.
Well, he was trying to show Joe Torre his knee was okay and his calf was okay.
I hope they play him. I think that's the mistake Showalter made, not playing Jeter and Strawberry in the playoffs the year we lost.
Do you have plans to come back for any of the playoff games here?
Oh, I'm coming back Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah.
Are you throwing out the first ball Tuesday night?
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Great.
Are you guys going to be doing the game?
We'll be on doing a post game.
Well, who's doing the games?
It's either Fox or NBC. Fox does the first game, and NBC does the second game.
So you guys won't be doing anything?
I'll be watching on
We'll
TV.
be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you did all the games all year long.
You see, back in the old great days of Channel 11, you would be on, and the network would be
right.
on. So that way the local fans got to hear their guys. Well, Scooter, we're down to our last out, and then you can head across the bridge.
Okay.
Is Cora well?
Yeah, she's here today.
Great.
She looks great.
And did Joe have anything else to say about driving around in the car and meeting the Yankee
No,
players? David Wells got his autograph.
Yeah.
El Duque got his autograph.
Well, and I got to meet El Duque and Wells. And I tell you, Wells is really a flaky guy. But El Duque came over. I gotta meet. I guess he heard some of the games over in Cuba when he was over there. You know.
Yeah, on the satellite.
Yeah.
Did you watch the perfect game? You saw that?
Oh man, on pins and needles. I tell you. It scared me the way O'Neill went after the ball. That last out, he gave us sort of that Ricky Henderson snatch thing. I said, oh, all he had to do was drop it.
It was nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Oh, terrible. I messed up your broadcast today, I'll tell you that. I can feel it.
Now, in the old days, you probably drove yourself, but today you have a limousine.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Was it a big stretch?
No, I refused to ride in them. I rode in them once. It was terrible.
So it's just a town car?
Just a town car.
Don't have to worry about the toll or anything.
No. White used to get mad at me because I get off. There it is, O'Neill. Look at him. You think he's not leaving? He's chewing the flesh away. He's dying to get in that game.
He's chomping at the bit for Tuesday.
Oh,
Hey, Phil, you were on so many dominating years.
oh, it was great.
Did it ever worry you to have to turn it on? I mean, suddenly you go from an end of a season game that means nothing. Suddenly Tuesday night, you've got to be at your absolute best. Did that ever scare you guys?
No, because when I was in the minor leagues, it did. And then when I came to the Yankees, I couldn't believe these guys they had been in so many World Series. Didn't bother them. Like Joe and I were talking about that today. Hey, did you know that way back Joe brought up something when they didn't have any microphones or loudspeaker systems, and this guy would. Oh, he needed a home run, didn't he?
Oh, boy.
Forget it. No.
Phil's got to go.
I got to say goodbye. I'll tell you a story.
Love you.
I used to come around in a megaphone and give the batteries.
Right. That's before Bob Shepard.
Kenny, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Throw the headset down one last time.
Okay.
Oh, man.
You know, he's 33 years old, but organizations keep guys around like that in an emergency. He's got a good live arm. So not only doing what he wants to do the last day of the season, but his stock's going up a little bit for what he might be to either the Yankee organization or somebody else.
That's Jim Cott, of course. Great to have Scooter along.
Wasn't that neat? Yeah, brought back a lot of old memories, the games we did in 1986.
Along the way this inning, we hope our viewers out there understand. We just want to say thank you to so many of the people behind the scenes that helped make this summer successful and memorable, and we hope a lot of fun for all. Bernie Williams coming on, and Miguel Cairo will be out number one. For example, our technical directors who punch the buttons that make the pictures come on the screen. Rich Basili, Matt Ryan, Vipan Vij, and Danny Arnados. The people who put the infinite or the graphics on the bottom of the screen right there. Those letters all have to be typed in by hand and updated, and they are, by Tom Sank and Gail Frederick. And then the scoreboard when we go to commercial every time, like that one on the bottom. That's got to be updated too when the count changes, and the score does too. Anise Edwards, Sal Palandro, Dave Etra. Ground ball to Jeter. You can tell Scooter loves the way Jeter plays the game. And the audio, which is so critical. The crowd, the crack of the bat. Mario Sparandio, he can be a little annoying.
Super Mario.
It can be a little annoying, but Howie Stein, Ed Saltis, Mike Christopher, Ed's wife Petra Saltis, and Victor Smith on video when the light's changing and there are shadows, and that's got to be compensated for. Eddie Ebler and Frank Berger are down there. And then there are all the replays. Mike Eiselman, Bobby Falgo, Fred Minardi, Dave Iori, Kevin Rose, Jay Ashenovsky, Matt Christian, Isabel Ferreira, David Zarkauer, Bruce Levin, and Jeff Rubin. And the cameramen, well, this is a long list. But these are the guys that get
worth
unbelievable replays and have a real good feel for the game. That would be, I believe, camera 4.
And who would that be?
No, I have no idea today. That would be John Savlak? It could be John. Anyway, John's on a list with Rich Gordon, Kenny Lato, who's been nominated for many Emmys, Billy Tynan, who operates our robotic cameras a lot, Dom Spada, Dave Chesney, usually down the first base line, Alan Friedman everywhere, Frank Lombardo, Rob Tamburua, who does a lot of our post-game work with Michael Kay, Tommy Tucker, Paul Martins, Mike Masseri, Craig Bianco, Win Bernfeld, I've known him for years, Jack Williams, Gene Genovese, Rick Seifert, Denise Ballas, Steve Kent, Keith DeSantis, Mark Renaudin, John Rose, John Sepchinski.
You're doing good.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
And now from the electronic wizardry department. These are basically the guys you call when anything goes wrong. These are the
bullpen guys.
And my wallet's broken. All right, call these guys. Lou Flemmel, Jeff Smith, Bruce Goldfeder, Tom Darrow, and Roberto Krukowski. That's fouled off by Randy Wynn, the leadoff man. Now, let's see. We've got back in BOC, you know, all those commercials have to go in. So you need somebody to sit back there and tell you that the pictures are clear, the sound is good, and they got the commercials ready. And that would be Tom Western, Mike Bazzadona, and Rick Stevens. Line drive past Derek Jeter, a 2-out base hit. And that would be Danny Sullivan, Mike McCarroll, Ernie Nardi, Jack Worship, Roger Bailey, Larry Ray Winkle, Russell Youngblood, Gary DiBenedetto, Dick Smith, Walter Schroeder, Mike Wilcox, Jerome Dunson, Ron Profit, Ed Galligan, John Moran, Roxanne Markline, John Inelli, and Leonard Fuchs.
Glad he got that 2-out hit.
We needed to keep this just a little bit longer.
Time.
At the sports desk, we'd like to thank Danny Arnados, Nancy Daza, Joe McGinnis, Ed Barnola, Lula Shepard, Verity Lund, and our editors who do so much hard work in these little dim rooms. Throw behind the plate. Not in. Oh, they got it. Randy Wynn caught at second base. So, more good stuff by Jim Brewski. It's still a 2-1 Yankees lead. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. Next on MSG. The Yankees lead the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, trying to make it a nice, even-sounding 114 in the win department on the season. Chuck Knobloch leads it off for the Yankees. Wanted to just as you can hopefully still enjoy this Yankee game, just thank a few more people. Our editors back at Madison Square Garden who assemble all the featured material that we have. Dan Williams and Dan Mitchner. We'd like to thank our librarians, Spencer Julian, our librarian, he's the man. And we'd like to thank our interns who do an awful lot of stuff behind the scenes for us, information, working alongside, and hopefully learning a little bit. Casey Timoney, Kevin Kiernan, Mike Shankman, Adam Geller, Kevin McHale, Nate Richter. This would be one Mike Shankman, also known as the voice of the Columbia Lions on WKCR. He's working through his rookie year pretty well, I hear there,
Excellent.
Jim.
Rookie of the year.
Could be. Lions had a big game their first week. Our truck engineers, Tim Malanka and Charlie Vanderhoop III. And keeping the truck in top shape is critical. Got to do it. Chris Bowers back in BOC. Bernie Sweetman on camera as well. And here comes Derek Jeter to a big sound as always. Unbelievable. On the scoreboard, Mark McGwire has hit number 769.
Well, it is 7. He got one taken away
By Bob Davidson,
Right.
who didn't feel too bad about it.
Should have 70.
Well, maybe he will.
Yeah.
What inning is that in there,
Said
Mike?
if he gets 7, he's going to retire.
What inning is that? Third inning, so he's got time. Now we've got people who have produced some of our features on all the players, some of the things that we've done. Yankee of the Year, Frank DeGrace always does an outstanding job, whether he's doing this or Knicks basketball. Dave Seisler, Jim Gallagher, Bob Lawani, Anthony Harris, Stu Weiner, Jackie Lyons. Runner going, and the throw to second is not in time. So Jeter's going to have a chance with a runner in scoring position now. Another stolen base for Chuck Knobloch.
Chuck takes over the team lead, getting those wheels in shape and getting ready for what could be very important stolen bases in the postseason. 31st of the year.
Ooh, Jeter wanted a big chunk of that one. He's still one away from 20 home runs. Hey, our unit managers, they keep everything organized and make sure everything is where it is. Tyrone Stith and Jeff Ostrom, who just turned 59 years old. We'd like to say happy birthday to him. Well, I'm sorry, they would be tech managers. Okay, to me, they're unit managers, but to MSG, they're tech managers. Debbie Schneider and Debbie Getz, the Debbies, they would be the unit managers. And we can't do our job without the Yankee PR staff. Rick Cerrone and his assistants, Jason Zillow and Adam Davidoff. And back in the office, we got to give a big bear hug of a thanks for Matilda Mirakaj, who I don't know how many requests we have collectively made of her this year, but she's answered every one. Debbie Timon in marketing and Doug Behar, Joe Schillen, Christina Papa, her assistants, Arthur Richmond, Sonny Height, who's in charge of Yankee Stadium, and Kirk Randazzo, who works side by side with him. When we need to move a camera or we need something done, they get it done. Doyle Martin and Joe Puglia, who run the scoreboard operations. We share a lot of video stuff. We're getting near the end, Jim. Charlie Zabransky outside the Yankee clubhouse. They're the guys who run the stadium. And the security guys, and we only use first names here because we have to protect their identity. So we'll go with Jerry at the back door, Tony at the door of the press box here. He's been here for years. And then Bill, Harry, Sean, and Paul down on the field. The Cacuzas in the clubhouse. Where would we be? Need an extra burger, orange, something? They got it. So that would be Lou Cacuza, Rob Cacuza, and Lou Jr. And last but not least, when we have a rain delay and we need updates on the radar, we get it from Dan Cunningham, who's made sure the stadium looks as gorgeous as it does today. That's in there for a strike 3, and Derek Jeter knew it. And Bobby Wilkinson, who runs the stadium.
And people thought this was just like an 18-man game, 9 players on each team and a few guys in the booth. Now they really understand who does all the good stuff like that.
And in the truck today, as always, we have Eddie Caginelli doing the graphics. We have Andrew Braun doing
Replays. Yep, tape.
And John Gallagher's been a big part of that. We've got our producer, Leon Schweier, and they all work with our director. And that director does an outstanding job. and he's down there too in the truck. The director is sitting in his chair right now.
You know his name?
Well, he knows who he is. He's our director. And so there you have it, the complete list of everyone we would like to thank. And thanks at home for bearing with us. Now, what's happening here?
Well, Scooter's gone. He's over the bridge.
I just did a couple of WW here's in his honor.
Not important a day like today. But it is mind-boggling, the list of people that are responsible for putting a game on the air. And, of course, we would hope every crew feels the way that we do about ours, that we think they're the best. We're pretty privileged to have the best local television coverage there is.
I agree.
And that director is Bill Webb.
You couldn't resist, huh?
Yes, he's not only doing our games here, but he'll be sitting down in that truck on Tuesday night with the big boys.
Bill's had a great year. He did David Wells' perfect game, and he was there for Mark McGwire's 60-second home run on that primetime special. And he'll be here Tuesday night doing the playoffs on Fox.
Bernie Williams on deck. That's going to be an interesting at-bat. Rick Cerrone, you mentioned the Yankee Director of Media Relations, has been keeping everyone updated on Mo Vaughn's day. Mo Vaughn has gone 2 for 3. His average sets at 337.1. Bernie's 337.3. So he's going to need a hit or a sacrifice fly in his next at-bat.
Curtis just gets a little piece, so it's going to stay at 2-2. And there is one other person who we have to thank because he's the big kahuna. And we like working here. We like doing these games, so we have to thank him. And he's here today. And he's the Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler of MSG, our executive producer, Mike McCarthy.
He's keeping a close eye on that scoreboard with happenings down in Atlanta.
That and our expense reports. Atlanta leads the Mets 5-2 in the 7th inning. And here's the story on the wild card race as we stand right now. San Francisco and the Cubs are tied. The Mets are the deepest along in their game, and if they lose, they're done. They need a win and a loss by both Chicago and San Francisco to tie this thing again. Broken bat. Esteban Yan gets barely out of the way of it. Maybe not broken, maybe just got away from Chad Curtis.
And guess who that RBI in the Cub game was responsible for that RBI? Let's see, did he make contact? I guess he did.
Yeah, the ball went straight down, so he must have stopped it.
Sammy Sosa knocked in the run.
He said he doesn't care if he gets any more home runs. He just wants to get to the postseason.
Well, for Cub fans, they ought to pull it for him not to hit a home run, because every time he hits a home run lately, the Cubs lose.
Again, Mark McGwire has number 69 today. What's the number going to be that we say about a zillion times next year? What's it going to be? Chad Curtis's walk. Yankees have a little something cooking here. And here comes Bernie Williams. He knows it, and believe me, his teammates are aware of it. After he got a hit last night, he went to the clubhouse, and Tino Martinez, who had seen the hit, came running out of the players' lounge with his fist in the air and said, "Way to go!" And then Bernie went to lift weights. So here's the deal. He's up by 18 thousandths of a point. I think I got that right. It's a slim margin. Let's put it that way. So here's Bernie dealing with the pressure of trying to win an American League batting title from another player who, like he, is headed to his free agent year. Bernie's got a lot of energy. You see he's light on his feet. Singled in his first at bat, and then the sac fly to drive in a run. One ball and one strike. Two runners on for Bernie Williams in what is a tight ball game. And they spin and gets a pickoff done. Chuck Knobloch is caught, picked off second base. Perfectly done by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Well, you can't say they haven't stayed focused to keep this one as close as possible.
Larry Rothschild making a lot of pitching changes. He's trying to keep this team focused on winning this ball game, even though it's the last one. Knobloch, who had tried to steal third base, Chuck getting a little extra lead there, and the Devil Rays caught him.
1-1 pitch to Bernie Williams, who certainly gave us one memory on the night that Tino Martinez was hit by Armando Benitez. This was the home run that brought the Yankees all the way back. And then the very next batter was Tino Martinez, and then the brawl and everything else. But that was a huge comeback for the Yankees that put an early hit on the Baltimore Orioles.
And then after the brawl, Tim Raines hit the first pitch for another home run. The Yankees were down in that one. They came back to win it 9-5.
Well, Bernie wouldn't mind if this at bat, this moment right now, is another flashback next year. Or maybe the one that clinches the American League batting title for him, depending on how things go today.
Yeah, if he gets a hit and they get word that Bo Vaughn has made an out, Joe Torre might.
Base hit, center field. Bernie comes through. Curtis scoots all the way to third to take the extra base. Good base running, but clutch hitting for Bernie Williams. And these Yankee fans in this ballpark, they know the deal. They know what that hit means. Gives him a batting average of .339.
Takes the outside pitch, and that's how you win batting titles. You take the pitch that's away, hit it up the middle or the opposite way, not try to pull it. That's what Bernie's done all year. And both of his hits today have really been scorchers.
Yeah, no bloops on this day. The hitter is Luis Sojo, with Curtis on at third and Bernie Williams on at first. In recent years, the Yankees have had another man who received a silver bat, and that was Paul O'Neill. Base hit right field. Sojo gives the Yankees an insurance run. Curtis across the plate, and it's 3-1 New York. You cannot say enough about the way this Yankee team has played the last week and a half of the season. Good in the field, clutch at the plate, focused and winning. Esteban Yan gets a visit by Larry Rothschild, and he's going to manage this one to the bitter end.
But I think he's not allowing his pitchers have been so overworked. He doesn't want to run any of them out there for too long. That's the reason he's making a lot of changes.
So Esteban Yan is out, and so are we. Back in a moment on MSG. Scott Aldred, who's done a very good job this year. 40 of his 47 appearances have not resulted in a run. But 33 hits and 31 in the third innings while striking out 21.
And right now, Larry Rothschild and the Yankees are looking for somebody to just throw strikes. These guys just want to get their swings in and get ready for Tuesday night. And the Devil Rays kind of prolonging this. At least gives Joe Torre a chance to get Chili Davis in at bat. Darryl Strawberry had a couple against the right-hand pitchers.
Yeah, the last day of the regular season in a meaningless game is not supposed to be a 3-hour game.
No.
Lots of pennants, lots of signs, lots of expressions from the fans toward the Yankees today. And the Yankees signed a bunch of baseballs before the game and passed them out to the fans themselves after signing them. So good karma in the ballpark. The hitter is Chili Davis. Shane Spencer on deck. Yankees with a run in. Bernie's on at second base. Luis Sojo's on at first.
You're all out of thank yous?
I'd like to thank you.
Wow, thank you.
I'd like to thank Ken Singleton for being such a pleasure to spend as much time with as I can. Susan Waldman, Bobby Mercer. I mean, we have a good time, and we hope that it shows. Fans a little restless. They don't normally do the wave at Yankee Stadium. Thank goodness. The stadium looks absolutely gorgeous. It seems as though everything has a fresh coat of paint, including the outfield wall.
And it does. It does have a fresh coat of paint. They just painted it.
The grass is perfect. Tremendous lengths they've gone through to make this place look spick and span and gorgeous on Tuesday night, and it will. And it'll be filled up just like this. And it'll be roaring, and it'll be great. And we'll have post-game coverage immediately after all of the Yankee games in the postseason. It's a 3-0 count to Chili Davis. And when they want you to throw strikes, you can't come in and walk a guy on 4 pitches.
Awful?
And here comes Larry Rothschild. If you can't do it, I want someone else. Look at the way he's walking.
Not a pleasant exchange.
Wow.
Will somebody please come in and throw strikes, is Larry Rothschild.
The parade of pitchers continues. Back in a moment. And we want to take a moment to talk to the kids out there who are quickly becoming Yankee fans. The Yankees have a new fan club for kids, and there are 2 great membership packages to choose from, which include Yankees team merchandise and a Yankees discount ticket offer. You will also receive the official Kids Club newsletter and a birthday surprise from the Yankees. Join now to become a member of the New York Yankees fan club for kids. For an application, call 201-784-9600. 201-784-9600. Jim?
Yes. You want to know who the new pitcher is?
Please tell me
Lopez.
Albie Lopez, and explain a little bit more of why Larry Rothschild was so mad.
Well, I think a couple of the reasons. First of all, he doesn't want to overuse his relievers. They've been used a lot this year. He's piecing it together. But I think it's kind of a statement by Larry saying, I'm frustrated with you guys not being able to throw the ball over the plate, particularly the last day of the season. That's all players are looking for is, hey, throw it in here. We'll give the fans a little show, swing the bats. And the Devil Rays have come out. You know, here's Scott Aldred with 4 straight pitches, not even close to the strike zone. And I think he's frustrated by that.
The hitter is Shane Spencer with the bases loaded. No Yankee rookie has ever had 3 grand slams. He told me yesterday on a bad strikeout that he was really tight and tried too hard. Let's see if he's learned something. Fouled off, 0-1. He's gone behind quickly in the count in his first 2 at-bats. And he went right over to Chris Chambliss to do a little hitting bonding talk.
That usually means go the other way.
One ball and 1 strike. There were some people who, stupid me, we forgot to thank, and sometimes they're the most important people to you. Dominic Tringali. He knows how I feel about him. Vivian Dittman, who's here all the time. John McComb, Audrey DeWeiss, Steve Cohen, Tony DeSanti, Dave Katz, and John Coleman. Long drive, way back, at the wall. God! History of Yankee Stadium on the season's last day. Shane Spencer's 3rd grand slam as a rookie. It's a September to remember and his 10th home run. They want a curtain call. The bat rack. Here he comes. The Hackwood opposite field. He said, I'm pulling that as deep as I can. Jorge Posada fouls it off. Wow. I guess he did learn a little something yesterday and coming to the plate with the bases loaded. First Yankee rookie to ever do it. And I don't even think he can believe it. Can you believe it?
Not only rookie, I mean, that puts him up on the all-time list But see, he waited good on this one. He waited, and he got a hang-in curveball right up there, about a little over the belt.
Oh, and I want to say he hits them a ton. He doesn't hit little cheapy home runs.
Yeah, the all-time, you look in the record book, that great year Don Mattingly had, 1987, he hit 6 of them in 1 year. And you got names like 5 O'Clock Lightning, Tommy Henrik, 4.
So he's on a good list already.
Yeah, tied with Joe D.
Oh, and by the way, Jennifer Alcott, Marlene Sullivan, Paul Sullivan, Kathy Burke, we didn't forget you. We can. Our thanks to you as well. And every time we mention something and say a thank you, guys keep hitting grand slams and interrupting us. We'll be back on MSG in a moment. 7-1 New York.
1 Yankees, and I mean, just rewriting the rookie history books.
The only Yankee rookie with 3 Grand Slam home runs, breaking the record of Yogi Berra. And with that home run, the Yankees now have 10 players in double figures in home runs, and it ties the record set by the 1998 Baltimore Orioles. So that both these clubs this year have been hitting a lot of home runs. So Shane Spencer with the Grand Slam, and Discover Card will donate $500 to the local chapter of Make-A-Wish Foundation for that Grand Slam hit by that man, Shane Spencer.
He's got quite a fan club out there, the Bleacher Creatures.
The second base taking over is Homer Bush, and on the mound, first time this year, in relief, Hideki Arabu, bringing a 13-9 record with him. He'll face Quentin McCracken here in the top of the 6th. And it's in there for a strike. Let's go back and look at the swing, Kitty.
Well, he got a hanging curveball, and he'd been pulling off the ball a little bit lately, and there again is that you see how close to the body the hands stay, that nice, tight, compact swing.
Hickey's next pitch is called strike 2. So Jim Bruschi worked 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, picked up a couple of strikeouts and walked 1, allowed 1 run. I wonder
Today?
if
They want another one today, or was that when they came here today?
Inside to McCracken, the ball and 2 strikes.
Well, they got what they wanted. They had that sign since the first inning. Jim Bruschi can pick up his first win as a Yankee.
Yeah, they are tuned up. Yankees win today. They'll be 7 in a row heading into postseason play. Breaking ball is fouled back by McCracken.
I wonder if Joe Girardi, that shot we just had, if he and Mel Stottlemyre, I wonder if he's saying to Mel, who are you going to be pulling for Tuesday night?
Yeah, that's got to be tough. That's tough. His son Todd will be pitching against the Yankees. Well, 1-2 the count. Bouncing ball to the right side for Homer Bush, and Homer will make the play, and McCracken is out. While we look at Homer, I want to say hello to his wife, Monica. She's expecting their first child. Now, she hasn't been feeling that well, and hasn't been coming to the stadium that often. She's back at the hotel and watching the ball game, so Homer said, and you pass that message along, and
So we did.
Homer's thinking about it. All right. Here's Bobby Smith, who has struck out and flied out. 0 for 2. Well, a lot of excitement here at the stadium on the final day of the regular season. Hideki Irabu drops a curveball in for a strike, and that's been the pitch that has made Hideki more effective this year. And he's made a late season run just like the ball club has. Let's make it 114. Fastball to the corner, 0-2.
Yeah, this would be the 7th win in a row. I don't think there's any correlation between how you finish and how you do in postseason. Most of the time, the teams that play best throughout the entire season end up winning, but you feel good about yourself going to postseason. You know, when you've played like the Yankees have, particularly all phases of the game. I noticed Knobloch, I think, intentionally today tried to steal some bases as if it was spring training, getting his timing and everything ready for the postseason to try to steal 1 or 2.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the breaking ball. And there is the first strikeout for Hideki Irabu. Check out our New York Marriott current marquee matchup. Brian Ricard worked 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. Jim Bruschi, who stands to be the winner, as Kitty mentioned, 5 innings, 4 hits, allowed just 1 run, a couple of strikeouts, and a walk. Now, Grandma Junie loves the Yankees.
She's not alone.
Here is the veteran, Fred McGriff. And he swings, hits one to right field, kind of off the end of the bat. Spencer started back, now comes in. And the ball's going to drop in for a base hit. Fooled by the swing of a big slugger. And McGriff will have his third straight hit. He has singled twice and doubled.
That's exactly right. This ball hit off the end of the bat, but when Shane Spencer saw the swing, he thought this ball's going places. So he retreated. That scouting report on Shane by the Yankees would tell you he's an average runner, an average fielder. We know about his power.
And he's got a good arm.
Yep.
And Scott McLean's going to take over for Fred McGriff, so Fred's season is over. And he closes it on a pretty good note with a 3-for-3 afternoon. Bubba Trammell takes the call strike. So the veteran who this year led the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in home runs and runs batted in will close with his average well over 280. But he won't get to 20 home runs. Line drive down the right field line. It's a fair ball and headed to the corner. Actually, a fan has interfered, and the runner's going to move up to second and third. So Trammell's going to get a double out of that. Now, people think that it's an automatic double once the fan interferes. That is not the case. You see the fan stretch out and reach it. It's where the umpires want to place the runners, where they think the runners would have ended up. So second and third with 2 outs, and then bring up Rich Butler, who took over in right field for Mike Kelly. So after getting the first 2 outs pretty quickly, Hideki Irabu has given up a single and a double to put runners at second and third.
Which isn't all bad. You don't like to give up runs on purpose, but he might be called on in the playoffs to come in situations like this, couple of men on.
That'll leave up the count at 1-1. We saw the sign that said Grandma Junie loves the Yankees. When you go back to the month of June, Grandma must have been very happy. They were 19-7 for the month of June. 10-1, yeah.
It seems like they were that every month.
10-1 here at the stadium. Base hit through the middle. Tampa Bay is going to score at least 1 run here. They're going to try and get 2. Yep, they will score a couple. So 3 straight hits with 2 outs, and Tampa Bay has scored 2 runs. And it is now a 7-3 ball game. And give Rich Butler a couple of runs batted in.
Yeah, while Hideki Irabu regroups after giving up this RBI single, quick note, Kenny, in Houston, Cubs have taken a 3-1 lead. And you know how in this game you meet players and you kind of get attached to individual players. You pull for them because of either their character or that they work hard. Terry Mulholland's always been that kind of guy for me. You know, he's been up and down even here with the Yankees. He's not only pitching well today, he got a 2-run double to give the Cubs the lead.
Pitch is fouled out of play by Ledesma. So Joe Torre looks on. So Terry Mulholland with a double. He's not considered a good hitting pitcher.
No.
Third ball hangs up high.
But he is he's been a big game pitcher for the Mets, for the Cubs the last month of the season. Speaking of the Mets and the Cubs, Mets just down to a few at-bats yet, but I think it's 50 days they've only been a game apart all the way down the stretch.
Swinging a foul ball back by Ledesma.
And that's never happened before. The teams linked that close together. Just 1 game apart going to the last day of the season.
50 days. Not far out of that rear view mirror one way or the other. Ledesma swings and misses strike 3. Irabu picks up his second strikeout, gives up a couple of runs. We've played 5.5 here at the stadium, and the Yankees have a 4-run lead. Back and rolling towards the postseason. Scott Brosius is going to lead it off. He is flat out twice, hits one to left field here. New left fielder back on it. It's Kerry Robinson. He just came in and makes the play. So Robinson out in left field. tested right away. And Scott McLean, who ran for Fred McGriff, will stay in the ball game and play first base. And here is Homer Bush. You talk about a guy who hasn't had much chance to make contributions this year, but Homer Bush has done so. You saw the batting average, a lofty 370. Pitches inside ball one. And a guy who makes things happen when he gets into the ball game. Had 70 at-bats and scored 16 runs. Swings at a high fastball and fouls it back. A ball and a strike.
Okay. And when you talk about postseason play and things being magnified, it's where the names like Homer Bush, who you haven't seen a lot during the season, suddenly can make a difference. You know, you see him late in the game going in for Chili Davis or Darryl Strawberry, maybe Jorge Posada to pinch run. That can be a factor in postseason play.
Pitch is hit hard towards left field. Robinson won't be able to get this one. Drops in for a base hit. Homer Bush's a lofty 371 average will go up a few points. Yeah, when you're thinking about a guy who could score from first on an extra base hit, a close play at the plate, Homer Bush might be your guy. Here's Derek Jeter, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Getting an update on Mo Vaughn. So Mo Vaughn, we just heard the announcement in the press box here by Rick Cerrone that Mo Vaughn struck out. And he's 2 for 4 right now. Derek Jeter fouls it off to the right. Now, I didn't hear what he said his average was.
Probably 336 and change. 336.6. And I imagine Joe Torre has got somebody monitoring that for him. The Brocious at bat, a good example. Scott 0 for 3 is average now at an even 300. I don't think Scott will come to the plate again. I think Joe will make sure he finishes the regular season at 300.
Homer Bush is off and running. The pitch to Jeter, grounded towards third. Smith bobbles, has a strong arm. The throw to first is in time, and Homer's on his way to third, and he's in there. That's what we're talking about. And make it happen on the bases.
Yeah, not so important with 2 out, but if you could figure in a close game how important this play could be. Bobby Smith bobbles, has the strong arm Kenny talked about, but Homer Bush read it perfectly. He had already rounded second and makes it to third easily. Watch him pick up the ball. He's going to round the bag and seize the throw. He knows he can make it with those short little choppy steps. He's in there easily.
Chad Curtis takes a pitch down low, ball 1, so 2 outs, and Homer Bush over at third base.
Sees it isn't coming to second, makes the turn, and that's when he knows he can make it.
That will leave the count at 1-1 on Chad Curtis, who drew a walk and scored in the 5th inning. Get the update.
Yeah, I think Joe Torre went in there and said, here's the situation. Well, he's got an at-bat to play with. Bernie could, he could go over. You figure the Boston game is in the 8th inning. Mo Vaughn may not come to the plate again.
Yeah, Boston's winning, so that looks like he will not be hitting, at least at the bottom of the 9th, if they go on to continue to lead the Orioles. Curtis, line drive to left field, and Robinson, nope, he traps it. It's a base hit. Homer Bush will score, and the Yankees lead 8-3. Sinking line drive off the bat of Chad Curtis.
Robinson playing left field in Yankee Stadium for the first time. You see him kind of tentatively reach for that and play it on a hop. And I think with all the updates the Yankees are getting from Boston, they feel comfortable now that Bernie Williams has a lock on the American League batting title. Mo Vaughn has struck out 2 for 4. Now if Baltimore ties it up and they goes 3 for 3, there's nothing they can do about it. But that is a possibility. But right now, they figure confident that Bernie will win the title. Even if Mo Vaughn would get up one more time and get a hit, it would not be enough to pass Bernie Williams. So Barring any extra innings in Boston, you're looking at your 1998 American League batting champion.
And what a year it's been. Missing, 5-6 weeks with the knee injury and coming back strong.
Fourth year in a row that Bernie has hit over 300, and his lifetime mark coming into this year, 292. You can almost see the satisfaction on his face, feeling of accomplishment, and it's not like he sat out. I mean, he earned it today. Got 2 hits and a sacrifice fly.
Well, we talked about yesterday all the battles between Boston and Yankee hitters over the years for the batting title, and here's another one. So Bernie hitting 338.6 and Mo Vaughn 336.6 right at the moment. Ricky Ledet will hit for Bernie Williams, and he fouls the first pitch back.
Well, with Joe D being in the ballpark today, he was a part of those Boston Yankee races for the batting title. He beat out Jimmy Fox, beat out Ted Williams.
Ledet will take a pitch down low, and that's 1-1 on the count.
How big a pickup was Joe Carter for the Giants? He just did a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, and the Giants lead the Rockies 3-0.
His career home run number 396 for Joe Carter. Swing and a miss by Ledet, who said that no matter what, this is his last season. So getting Joe Carter from the Baltimore Orioles might prove to get the Giants in the postseason. There goes Curtis. Here's the throw to second by DeFelice, and it is in time. Chad Curtis is thrown out attempting to steal, and that'll be it for the 6th inning here at the stadium. As we head to the 7th, the Yankees lead by 5.
Up on this one, looked it right into the glove. Even though Shane, rated an average outfielder, makes an awfully nice play on that sliding catch of the sinking liner.
One way to become a better than average outfielder is take fly ball after fly ball after fly ball, and you get better jumps after a while. Mike DeFelice swinging at the first pitch and fouls it back. And I think of Manny Ramirez with Cleveland, who had a reputation of having a good arm but not a good outfielder. And we talked about the other day that Indians first base coach Al Bunbury hit fly ball, hit thousands of fly balls this year.
Best example in my career, that was Tony Oliva, who I think should be a Hall of Famer, but he was not a good outfielder in the minor leagues at all. Did just what you referred to and became a Gold Glove winner.
DeFelice, 0-2.
Decky Arabu, that anybody with a good fastball right now can take advantage of the late afternoon shadows in the fall. And Al had a chance to talk to Scooter when Scooter was here about this time of the year and how difficult it is to play the outfield because of the shadows.
DeFelice hits a hanging splitter and laces it into left field for a base hit. The thing about the shadows, and it used to be when all the World Series games were in the daytime.
Yeah, you can see him right there from a pitcher's standpoint.
But
and then when you're in the outfield, this is, you're looking up into that from left and center, right?
Randy Wynn's going to be the hitter, but now with the games at night during the World Series,
it's not a factor.
It's not as much of a factor.
I'd rather deal with the shadows and have them in the daytime.
Randy Wynn fouls it off. Prime time, Kitty. Prime time.
I know. But there's nothing like running home from school or taking your transistor radio to school. Now kids don't have an excuse to get out of school to watch a series. They got to figure out an excuse to stay up late enough to watch it.
Switch hitting Randy Wynn at the plate. Loads the speed. That's in for a strike. 0-2. Yeah, I can remember having that transistor. One guy in class would have that transistor radio, and he'd get the scores and he'd maybe pass notes around the class, and the teacher would sense, she knew what time of year it was. Kind of give you a little extra break. I'd have bought a radio, but I couldn't afford one. Pitches up high for a ball.
Not that it's not exciting now, but that's when the Fall Classic was really a special national event. You know, there weren't any rounds of playoffs. Graham Lloyd's going to come in and get at least face a hitter or two.
Randy Wynn towards third. Lowell bobbles, gets it to second for the fourth. The relay to first will not be in time, but they do get the lead runner. Here's something else that wasn't around years ago when we had those transistor radios trying to get the scores of the World Series. There was no wild card. And at this moment, you can see the Giants and the Cubs are tied for the lead, with the Mets one game behind. The Giants are leading. Joe Carter's home run. The Cubs leading at Houston. Could be a playoff between those two tomorrow. The Mets, well, they need a miracle. They need things to turn around completely, both in Atlanta and in the other two cities.
Yeah, that sure brought a lot of excitement to baseball, the wild card. Kerry Robinson went in the game. Devil Rays picked him up from the Cardinal organization, so he's getting his first taste of playing in Yankee Stadium.
There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. And you come out of the Cardinal organization, you're an outfielder. It usually means you can run. There's the boomer, David Wells. He'll be starting on Tuesday night against Todd Stottlemyre. Curveball, and that is in there for call strike 3. So 3 pitches to Kerry Robinson, and he has been struck out. So Hideki Irabu gives up a hit, but no runs here at the top of the 7th. Bernie Williams, we hope you got the batting title. This season is over. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Crowded, but there's only one at the top of the race of the batting title. It's Bernie Williams. And the crowd was chanting for Bernie. I think he went back in the clubhouse.
He's going to come back.
Yeah, I think they're going to go in there and get him and bring him out so he can wave to the crowd. And here he comes. Bernie Williams, the American League batting champion. Edging out Mo Vaughn of the Boston Red Sox, going down to the final day of the season.
No place like New York, is it, for people that really get it, know what's going on?
Devil Rays have a new pitcher in the ball game. To be a left-hander, Ramon Tatis. They have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers in the ball game. You can see his numbers on them. 21 games, working out of the bullpen exclusively, 15.19 earned run average. He gets to face Ricky Leday, Luis Sojo, and Chili Davis.
Looks like Shane Spencer will get another at bat. That'll keep these fans around for another inning or two.
Can he get the bases loaded in front of him? There's ball 1 from Tatis.
Talking about all the excitement here at Yankee Stadium, but the Mets do deserve their share of credit. They're down to their last couple of outs, but there's never been a season like this in New York where both the Yankees and the Mets have combined for this high a winning percentage since the Mets joined the majors in 1962. They went through some lean years when Joe Torre experienced those in the late 70s. They came close. In 1986, the Mets were 108 and 54. The Yankees were 90 and 72. That's a winning percentage of .611. This year, the combined between the two is 6 1/4. Best year ever for the combined Yankees and Mets.
New York baseball. Ball is popped up to the left side. Coming into foul territory is Bobby Smith. Near the far end of the Devil Ray dugout, and makes the catch, and Leday has fouled out. So to give you a little more on Bernie Williams winning the batting title, it's the 9th time that a Yankee has won the batting title. Joe DiMaggio is the only one that has done it twice, as you mentioned, back-to-back years. Luis Sojo has singled in his lone at-bat and scored in front of the grand slam home run by Shane Spencer in the 5th inning. Lewis swings at the first pitch here, drives it towards right center field. A long run for Butler, and he makes the catch. Rich Butler with a nice play out in deepest right center field.
He's looking for his first. That's what brought Jeter and Posada off the bench. They thought even Soho's getting the home run column.
It's telling him to stay out there. 2 outs here. Maybe he can save it for a bigger occasion.
I think the Yankees would be happy with a couple of those line drive singles for Louis come Tuesday night. But this is his attempt at getting on the board in the home run column. It's about as far as he's hit a ball in the stadium, and Butler makes a nice play up against the wall.
2 outs for Chili Davis as Louis Soho will go back to the bench. Kind of a check swing, and he goes around. Strike 1 on Chili. He drew a walk off of Scott Alger, the only man that he faced in the 5th inning. That set things up for the next batter, who was Shane Spencer, who went deep. A lot of fun on the bench when you've won 113 and maybe 114 ball games. Ball and a strike from Chili Davis.
Well, it's September, such a great month when you see things happen like Shane Spencer's provided us with. In fact, in the Blue Jays today in Detroit got a near no-hitter from their rookie, Roy Halladay. 2 outs in the 9th, and Bobby Higginson hit a home run to break it up.
Swing and a miss by Chili Davis. So what Halladay is doing, he is making a bid to be in that rotation next year. Shane Spencer is on deck. Chili Davis trying to give him an at-bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Tampa Bay 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors.
Yeah, usually, Kenny, in a game like this, 8-3 in the 7th inning, you'll begin to see people file out. Now, a few of them have, but it'd be very interesting to watch. I think a lot of them have said, I'm going to stick around just to watch this kid hit one more time.
Full count now on Chili Davis. I was talking to Chili before the game, and he feels ready to go into postseason play. Joe Torre's given him a lot of at-bats this month. You can see a lot of the people have hung on, and it's nice when you have those marquee players on your ball club. Bring people in and make them stay. Payoff pitch is fouled back. He'll do it again.
Well, every time you see Chili Davis in the division series, chances are it's going to be from the left side of the plate. Texas has no left-hand starters. They can bring a lefty like Eric Gunderson in out of the bullpen, but primarily they are a right-handed pitching team. Danny Patterson, John Wetland, the ex-Yankee, out of the bullpen.
Xavier Hernandez. Chile lifts one in the air to the right side. Butler coming on, and looks like the right fielder has it. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 7th, nothing across. We played 7 on a beautiful afternoon here at the stadium to close out the regular season. And as you can see, as we head to the 8th, the Yankees lead 8-3.
We'll look at it on a late fall afternoon. The Yankees lead at 8-3. So most of the individual honors are all taken care of for the year now. Mark McGwire has a pretty good lock on the home run title. The Yankees on the all-time win record. Bernie Williams has won his first American League batting championship. Graham Lloyd will get a chance to continue to impress Joe Torre. No left-hand hitters stepping in for Tampa Bay. Fred McGriff out of the ball game. Grounded towards second. Homer Bush tried to play the backhand, and it hopped over his glove.
I think what you see on Homer, he made a false step to his left before the pitch was made, knowing that the pitch was supposed to be outside, maybe thinking that Bobby Smith would hit the ball the other way, but instead it went to his right. He couldn't recover. That false step was just enough to have it go in his glove and on into center field for the base hit.
And Bobby Smith appreciates that. It's the first hit off the Yankees this year. He was in a 0 for 22. First pitch swinging. Bubba Trammell pulls that foul. Check that. Scott McLean.
He's the one who ran for Fred McGriff.
Right. Outstanding high school football player. We mentioned turned down a scholarship to Southern Cal to play baseball. Was in the Orioles organization. That's hit well. Curtis on the run. Glasses down will make the running grab. First out of the Tampa Bay 8th.
Well, Kitty, while you were down, we're on and passing along thanks to everybody. I was sitting up there, so I certainly want to thank everybody that made these games possible, but people that are behind the scenes that everybody doesn't get a chance to see or hear. And certainly we couldn't do these games without them. And it's been a fun year. You know, every time you come to the ballpark with the Yankees playing the way they are this year, you got a good chance to give good news out to the people, and it's been fun doing it this season.
Yeah, we've really been spoiled, and I mentioned it again. It's going to take years of baseball to look back and really appreciate how great a year this ball club has given everyone. And it does. I mean, I feel bad for broadcasters who are involved with teams that are always in the second division, seldom have a chance to win. And this is an easy job to sit here. You've got a ball club full of very classy players that understand what our job is about. They're very cooperative, and led by that guy who was a former broadcaster, and understand he makes our job so easy. And the fans here bring an energy level to the stadium every night that also adds to the, I think, interest of a telecast. So it just makes it a lot of fun. A banner year all around. Into Rich Butler. Now Graham Lloyd gets a chance to face a lefty with 2 down here in the Tampa Bay 8th.
Yeah, I mentioned to somebody that I feel like the weatherman in San Diego.
Yeah, good news every day. Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah, just an occasional storm, but that's about it. There's a high breaking ball, 2-1. The Yankees will gather with their scouts, coaches, management team tomorrow, and they will finalize the 25-man roster. That's grounded out towards second. Homer Bush is there to gobble this one up. Graham Lloyd pitches a scoreless 8th. We head to the Yankee half of the 8th inning. Shane Spencer will be leading it off for the Yankees when we come back. They're on top by 5, courtesy of his 3rd Grand Slam homer of the year. There he is. Shane Spencer will lead it off for the Yankees in the bottom of the 8th. And while we're waiting for him to step in, we remind you can join Bill Daughtry for the latest info as the Yankees prepare for the postseason on the Daily News Baseball Playoff Preview. That's tonight at 11, exclusively on MSG. Some fans standing at the stadium leading you to believe they're saying we're going to watch him hit before we leave. And he'll hit off Dennis Springer, who is a knuckleball pitcher, but also throws a fastball and a slider. Knuckler in for a strike. Now, usually the last day of the season, you might, just say, okay, Shane, we'll put you in the record book. I'll throw you a little cross-seam fastball, see what you can do. But nope, he's going to have to hit the knuckler.
He took something off that one.
Well, that's all he'd need to do to fill out the scouting report. And Mike Paul is here, advanced scout for the Texas Rangers. He's seen him hit a fastball, a curve, a couple of change-ups, another hanging curve, and now a knuckleball. But this is hit right at Bobby Smith. Toss to McLean in time. And Spencer is retired, but not before he gets one final ovation. Well, and that ovation not necessarily for Shane Spencer, but he turned around and Bob Davidson, you're off the hook. He did reach 70. Do you believe it? 70 home runs for Mark McGwire.
Well, doesn't Interstate 70 pass through St. Louis?
I-70.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to believe that Shane Spencer has 10 home runs in his limited playing time, and then you look at what Mark McGwire has done. 1 down in the Yankee 8th, and here's Posada. That's in for a strike.
That's that same Montreal pitching staff that shut down the Mets and started their 4 or 5 game slide. And now they can't hold Big Mac, who's hit 4 in 2 days off of them.
Bad news for Mets fans. Ooh, real slow, tantalizing knuckler. Misses 1-1. Bad news for Mets fans. The game at Atlanta is a final. They lose it 7-2. Greg Maddux wins his 18th to keep his Cy Young hopes alive.
So the Mets lost their last 5 games.
Yeah. The Expos beating him at Shea did a lot of damage. The Last report we have on the other ball games, the Cubs still lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning at the Astrodome. And the Giants leading 3-0 over the Rockies in the 4th. There's a fastball in for a strike. So you can imagine the pressure on Dusty Baker's team once the Cub game is final. If the Cubs do win, their game will finish before the San Francisco game. Tantalizing knuckler in for strike 3. Posada down on strikes. And Mike Lowell will get an at-bat today. Scott Brosius started the game, went 0 for 3, but he finishes the season with a .300 batting average.
Home run. I'm still trying to get that into the 70.
Comprehend what that is.
Wow.
Knuckleball in for a strike.
I think that the point I made earlier when McGwire broke Frank Robinson's rookie record, when Frank had 38.
In the air to left, Kerry Robinson. We'll talk about Frank Robinson and Mark McGwire when we come back in the top of the 9th. We are heading to the last half inning of play if the Yankees can shut down the Devil Rays before the real stuff starts on Tuesday. 8-3 Yankees. Yankees dominance, blockbuster trades, the end of Cal's streak, nail-biting playoff races. And, of course, Mac and Sammy's astounding home run totals. It's a complete look back at a magical season. Baseball 98, one for the record books. That's live tonight at 5:30 right here on MSG. So Darren Holmes will get an inning's worth of work. The consensus opinion seems to be that the last pitching spot comes down to either Graham Lloyd or Darren Holmes. Lloyd worked a scoreless 8th. And we get word of the last home crowd of the regular season, Kenny, and it's an impressive one.
49,608 on hand to see the Yankees close out the regular season and then regroup for a day and come back on Tuesday and get ready for the postseason. Of course, Joe DiMaggio, the salute to him before the ball game today, and that went over very well, as you might expect.
Yeah, that added a bit to the final attendance today, even though the Yankees felt they'd had a good crowd anyway. The season total now ends at 2,949,734. First pitch swinging toward the line. Spencer over. He leaps. Did he get it? No, good try. So the Yankees with a new season high, which they broke about a week ago. We'll get you the final total on that in a moment. It's well over 2,900,000, including that crowd today. Outside for a ball. Again, going back to the tribute to Joe DiMaggio, and he did not speak, but there was a microphone behind home plate set for the national anthem, and there were a couple of occasions where it almost looked like Joe did want to grab the microphone and speak to the fans, which is something he doesn't often do, but you could tell by the waves how appreciative he was, and the remarks that Scooter made, how appreciative he was of the tribute to him today. 1-2 to Ledesma.
Kitty, I was talking about McGwire, and the rookie record was 38. In his rookie season, McGwire hit 49, so he blew right on by the rookie record by 11.
Linda Ronstadt, I just blew by you.
So maybe it gave an indication that one day when he got a good shot at the all-time single-season record, well, he's kind of blown right by that too.
Now, when you look at home run hitters of the past decade, from the time Mark McGwire has come out, I mean, he is a guy that would be the poster boy for a home run hitter. So it's, I mean, Roger Maris, and again, we've said this before, out of respect for Roger Maris, that he was not really a classic home run hitter. He was a terrific all-around ball player. He was the most valuable player the year before he hit 61 home runs. And like this year, Sammy Sosa will probably be the MVP, even though Mark McGwire ends with 70 home runs.
You talk about all the home run hitters of the past. I don't think there's any one of them as strong as McGwire.
No.
Physically strong as McGuire.
They didn't have weight rooms back in those days. I will correct that season record-setting attendance. The yearly total for the Yankees, 2,549,734. That pitch outside. Most of the 49,000 have left. Shane Spencer has had his last at bat, and the Yankee players grounded out toward short. Tough play for Jeter, but he got in there with a head-first slide. Nice play by Derek Jeter, but nice hustling by Aaron Ledesma, and he gets a single here in the Devil Ray ninth. Looks it right into the glove.
And then has to unload quickly on the run, get something on the throw, but close play at first base. And Ledesma's in with a hit.
Well, this is our last regular game telecast during the season, as well as our regular post-game report, but you can watch MSG for in-depth Yankee post-game coverage throughout the playoffs and the World Series. That pitch in for a strike. You can turn to MSG immediately following every Yankee playoff game, and we'll be there to break it down pitch by pitch, game highlights, reactions from the locker room. It's the Sports Desk special playoff edition featuring the Jeep post-game report on MSG Network all over the Yankees. Shallow right field, Spencer puts it away, and that's one down. I thought we were right the first time, Mike. It is 2,000,009. Mike and I were kicking around that season attendance total, and I knew the Yankees had gone over 2,000,009 yesterday, so it is 2,949,000. They're just 51,000 short of the 3 million mark. Now players stick around. Years ago, you got taken out of the game. Sometimes you would be in the locker room, but now with the on-field celebrations, that's hit into center field for a one-out single. And as they did yesterday, the Devil Rays make a little late move here to try to get closer to the Yankees. But now with the victory celebrations in the middle of the diamond, players, even though they're out of the game, tend to come back and shake hands with their teammates. I think of those years back in the 60s when the Yankees won, and even after a World Series, they just kind of shake hands and go in the clubhouse. And speaking of 61, you'll see right there's the battery that'll be together Wednesday night in Game 2. That was Pettit and Girardi. First pitch swinging, strike one. But it would be nice if El Duque and this entire Yankee team could stay together for a few more years and dominate like the team of the 60s did. The Yankees from 60 through 64 won 5 consecutive pennants, 2 World Series. They averaged over 100 wins a year. Good fastball there, and it's 0-2. Unfortunately, economics don't always permit that to happen these days.
No free agency in those days, no arbitration. Where you were is where you're going to be.
Yeah, a little more difficult to keep ball clubs together for 5 years like that team was. Down on strikes. And Holmes has the second out of the 9th inning. Quick update for you wild card fans. Giants increase their lead 5-0 in the top of the 5th. Cubs still leading 3-1 top of the 7th. And if you missed it, the Mets have been eliminated. They were defeated 7-2 by the Atlanta Braves. Down to the last out. Low for a ball.
Well, Kenny, have had fun again this year.
Yeah, it's been a great ride. It just keeps getting better every year with the ball club these Yankees put on the field.
I wanted to say thank you to you. I've learned a lot about pitching for the second straight year in all aspects of baseball.
I picked up a few tips on hitting. Makes me want to go back out there. The fans that have stayed are on their feet again. Another tribute to this Yankee ball club on the verge of winning their 114th game. May never happen again in the American League, and they want to be around to see it. 2-1. course, after our coverage here, we'll give you a full half-hour edition of the National Finance Sports Desk tonight at 10:30. And then at midnight, what you've missed on the national scene, you'll see on Fox Sports News. One strike away from win number 114. And Holmes will try one more time. Towards shortstop, high hop to Jeter. Got him by a half a stride, the speedy Gary Robinson. And Joe Torre, for the 61st time at Yankee Stadium, walks out to shake hands with his winning team. 114 wins. A grand slam homer for Shane Spencer, his third as a rookie. That's an all-time record. Williams, with 2 hits, wins his first American League batting title. Scott Brosius, despite going 0 for 3, keeps his average over 300. Well, it's a march that the Yankees hope they'll make late Tuesday night, when they play the Texas Rangers in Game 1 of the American League Division Series. There they are, your 1998 record-setting New York Yankees. Congratulations on a banner season, unforgettable season. To cover this one on our last regular season post-game show when we come back. I'll agree with that. Thanks for the memories. Back after this.